sugar daddy? Seriously? Just even a Toho? I'm Kottontale and Feet Finder. Please come find me. Oh, it's fucking FriYAY, yo. It is 10:46 a.m., so good motherfucking morning from me to you. But definitely good afternoon and good evening to all the motherfuckers around the world. It is Friday. It is the 17th of May. Oh, saying the 17th of May just made me think about the days that are coming up. 10 days from now is the 6-year anniversary of when rain left my body. I actually came across, because I've been, cleaning and packing, I came across the wristband. I was like reading it, and then my heart just stopped because I saw it, and then I looked on the back and I was like, yep, sure enough, past Amber had wrote something on it, dedicating it, but it just it thrusted me back into the emergency room. God, that was a rough day. The 26th to the 27th of May in 2017 were. I wish that on no one. I wish it on no one. We have to go get Rainbow from school this afternoon. So at 1 o'clock I'll end the meeting, and then at 1:30 I will leave to go get Rainbow. I'm a little worried about these upcoming 2 weeks, but I'm thankful that I have a good co-parenting system to where, I can take her for the last 2 weeks of May because she's going to be at her Allie mom and dad's for the first 2 weeks of June so she can finish out school. Everything's just getting... Oh... I have little to no thoughts or feelings. Robot and Mom Amber have just been taken over, which I'm thankful for. But I'm also not, because they tend to just keep going, and they don't think about stretching. Yeah, the next thing that I'm probably gonna do is get stuff into my memory boxes. Because, I could just look around the room and I'm like, that's all memory stuff. That is memory stuff. Just tons of memory stuff all over the place, so we need to get that all in there. I'm excited to use this because my daughter needs to clean her ears, and I've been wanting to use that tool on her, but I wanted to make sure that she has so much ear juice, I guess, that I don't really have to, go that far to get it. She's like me, we don't necessarily like things doing with our ears. For me, I just, I push myself all the time because so many things make me uncomfortable. So if I didn't do things that made me feel uncomfortable, I would never do anything. So it was funny though. So there's this person on my Snap stories that keeps trying to give me suggestions about packing. They're like, why don't you just leave everything in the drawers and then pack it that way? And I'm like, that's not gonna work. I live in a fucking basement, okay? That's just making more things that I have to fucking pay attention to. You know what I mean? No. And also, a plastic drawers, you can't keep them filled because you can't move them. And she's like, well, you just take the drawers out. No, I'm good. I'm good. Especially considering I live in a fucking basement, and my entertainment center hasn't been used for 3 years because the ceilings aren't tall enough. There is boxes that I've never been able to open because we don't have the space to open them. So everything needs to get packed up because everything is going to be different. I'll have an actual closet in my apartment. I don't have a closet here. There is no closets in this cave whatsoever. Okay? So it was just, I get that she's trying to help, but I'm like, unless I ask for help, I don't fucking want your suggestions. I am not one of those people who's like, yeah, give me all your opinions and I'm gonna take it. No, man. Unless I ask for your fucking opinion, I don't fucking want it. Ugh, it's so annoying. It's just like, so fucking annoying. But, it is what it is. Almost as annoying as that lurker that pops up almost every single time. Like, damn near like clockwork. When I start a meeting, I will have a random person that pops in, but they don't stay. They only pop in, I see their number, and then by the time I type something in the chat, that number is completely gone. And I'm just like, well, fuck. I'm like, I just love to be watched. I don't. For anyone watching this, I created my Club of Cottontales, this YouTube channel that you're watching, or you found me on the PlayStation Network. I created this place as a way for me to be 100% me and help myself mentally and physically. There's so many things that trigger me when just in life. So with utilizing YouTube, I can take those triggers and attempt to desensitize myself to them. So that's like the one reason why we do YouTube. I do not do this in hopes to have a bunch of people watch me. I do not do this in hopes that a bunch of people want to see me fucking game. I do this because it helps me. Like, I'm feeling so much fucking panic right now, and also just want a distraction from my pain, and coming here is a good distraction from that. Oh, I'm looking forward to being in an apartment. Like, I'll still have upstairs neighbors, but it's not going to be anything like what it is here. For one, I will have normal ceiling heights, so the ceiling will be like 7 or 8 inches or 8 feet high, not 6 feet 3 inches, and I can fucking touch my ceiling. Like, I should be able to jump and touch my ceiling, or better yet, I should better jump and not touch my ceiling. Like, I'm looking forward to that, because just having that extra fucking foot or two above my head will drown out some of the sound. Plus, an apartment is made in a way that it has multiple people. So the floor slash ceiling is extra thick to help with that sound. There is none of that. Okay? On a daily basis, and I do mean fucking daily, I am cleaning up little dust patches and shit that's fallen from the ceiling simply because someone upstairs decided to run, and now all of my dishes are covered in ceiling dust. I Oh, I'm not gonna miss ceiling dust. I'm not gonna miss hitting my head on the fucking ceiling. I'm not gonna miss stairs. I am so not gonna miss having stairs to get in and out of my home. Like, the closer we get to getting our keys and moving, I am just so fucking excited. I'm so fucking excited that I don't have to do $590 for a unfinished basement that is like torture most of the time. I I fucking laughed when my landlord was like, have you been able to save money? Like, no. My rent is over half of my income. How on earth would someone save? I was like, actually, where I'm going, I'll probably be able to save, because my rent is only going to be 30% of my income, making my rent like $200. And he was like, oh shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm low income, bro. I don't even get $800 a month. I get 747, and 590 of it right now goes to rent. I was so fucking happy paying last month's rent for this month, May. Like, oh, oh, like oh. 590 will be about how much I have left over after paying my rent. Oh, could you even imagine? Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so excited. People complain about low income housing because of the rules and stuff like that. Man, I am excited for the fucking rules. You know what I mean? Not have to worry about so many things. Like, I won't have to worry about someone just randomly walking into my fucking home. That will not happen, and if it did, I would get to call the police. The amount of times that, like, I had dogs pee down here, fucking people just walking in, not telling me that something was going on, the water being shut off and having no idea why, like, not being able to plug two things in and cook two things at once, you know, like a pot and a skillet. I couldn't have both of them plugged in because there's not enough electricity power in the house. Like, having an actual stove where I can cook on all four burners and the electricity isn't gonna shit out on me. Like, I'm so fucking ready to be out of this goddamn cave. Like, I'm so fucking ready. Oh, man. I'm kind of dreading this weekend, not gonna lie. We have enough medicine for today, which makes me happy because I have to go by Rainbow School. But like, I don't know when I will get my next child's apart. It probably won't be until, I imagine, next weekend. So next weekend would be when I could get more medicine. But then I also have to plan for the fact that where I'm moving, we can't smoke inside the apartment. Like, we could roll a joint and go outside and smoke, but we're gonna need to have, because I still struggle to leave my house. Even if I didn't have stairs, there'd still be some days where I don't want to leave my house. Like, I struggle with that. I wouldn't wish my existence on anyone, like, truly. Alright, it's Friday. Got all my disclaimers up. The way we need it. No motherfuckers here, the way we like it. Oh, if you didn't know, this is and always has been and always will be a 420 friendly and 21 plus community. I make content for myself. I am 37 years old. Well over the age of 21. So, and I live in Oregon where it's not only recreationally legal, but it is medically legal. So, doubly over, I am legal to toke on marijuana. The cannabis is 100% legal for me, both recreationally and medically. So, huzzah. Oh, man. My fucking head hurts. Everything hurts, honestly. And I have some pretzels and peanut butter here because I need to eat something before we leave to go get Rainbow.
There's a lot, so I'm just gonna jump into the murders part. So Ted would later on confess to 36 killings of young women across several states in the 1970s, and experts believe that the final tally of victims may be closer to 100 or more. The exact number of women Ted killed honestly will never be known, unfortunately. His killings usually followed a gruesome pattern. He often raped his victims before beating them to death, and there is some debate as to when Ted started killing. Most sources say that he began his murderous rampage around 1974. Around this time, many women in the Seattle area and in nearby Oregon went missing. I mean, a ton of women. Stories circulated about some of the victims last being seen in the company of a young, dark-haired man known as Ted. I don't know why he didn't think to use a fake name. This Ted guy would often lure his victims into his car by pretending to be injured and asking for their help. And it's sad because their kindness and willingness to help this guy, it killed them, which is awful. So Ted would often go back to the bodies after he killed them and disposed of them.
Dude, when do my condoms expire?
He would perform
son of a bitch.
Acts,
July of next year.
Oh.
We like
wild animals that it was
I'll probably end up having to throw away most of these condoms because
So at least 12 of
I doubt it.
Taylor heads are believed to be kept in his apartment for
I think it's so funny that I bought these condoms
serial
and
killers. They keep their trophies,
I was like,
as they call it. Something to
some people were like, "Oh, 12, that's not gonna be enough."
as his trophies. It seemed like Ted got a
So
great
funny
deal
to
of
me.
enjoyment reliving his crimes
Condoms are-
simply by looking
oh.
at or touching the severed heads of his victims.
Okay, it looks like they all expire July 1st of next year.
Sure.
Hey,
Images and
so
names just
yay
because I
me!
don't have permission to do so, to use their names, so I just don't feel like I should. Plus, I feel like I
What?
can't
I
give the
pressed
victims a
triangle.
story because
The
there's a
fuck?
lot. There's a lot. So I just think it's best if I leave their names out of it. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope so. These victims were for sure linked to Ted. Let me grab my book, my handy dandy book. I guess I could just read some, right? This is just like a timeline, okay? Timeline of known murders. February 1st, 1974. A 21-year-old woman. She was bludgeoned while she was sleeping and abducted. Sorry, I don't mean to sound so happy. Her skull and her jawbone were discovered at Taylor Mountain in Sonoma County, California. March 12, 1974. A 19-year-old woman was also abducted, but she was walking to a concert. That's when Ted got her, snatched her up, sadly murdered her, and then left her body at Taylor Mountain. She was never found, but Ted claims that he killed her for sure. They never found her though, so it's like, what? Jeez. April 17th, 1974, an 18-year-old disappeared while attending a meeting at Central Washington State College. Her skull and her jawbone were found at Taylor Mountain. May 6th, 1974, 22-year-old. She goes missing from Oregon State University, and also her skull was found. June 1st, 1974, another 22-year-old. Now she disappeared after leaving a public bar. Her skull also found at Taylor Mountain. June 11th,
like the little scroopshy doopshies into it.
Everything's good. Me believer. Never heard of her. She just knew deep down that something wasn't right. That sucks. When you think about it, because a lot of times, like, oh, I couldn't imagine if you were, let's just say, side note, let's just say you're married to a killer. Oh, that would fucking suck. Like, when you really think about it, like, you know how sometimes when you read about a killer or watching a whatever about a killer and they're married and you're like, how did you not know that he was doing something like that? Like, naturally we want to question them. Like, how did you really not know? But what if he really didn't know? And then all this comes out in the news and everyone's judging you. Like, yeah, bitch, sure, you didn't know. Like, that sucks. Someone you love, someone you cared about, you spent all these years with is a killer. I believe that she didn't know what was going on. She had that deep down feeling. She thought some things he was doing was really suspicious. But for the most part, I don't think she knew that he was what he was doing. Mary, that sucks. Something deep down was telling Elizabeth that, you know, Ted was responsible for all these women who are just going missing. She would end up going to police with her suspicion of Ted's involvement in the local murders, but they didn't believe her that he was indeed the killer, and the two of them would end up remaining together, but they did get pretty distant when Ted moved to Olympia the following year. And then in 1975, Elizabeth went to police again, this time with evidence that helped them to arrest Ted. Now, I guess Ted had called Elizabeth up, and he had confessed to her over the phone from his prison cell that he had tried to kill her and couldn't resist his impulses when he felt, quote, his sickness melting in him, end quote. She broke ties with Ted for good, and she ended up writing a book about it, about her experience with Ted, and it was titled The Phantom Prince, My Life with Ted Bundy. There's also a series on it, I believe, on Amazon, or was it a movie? So I mentioned that he was calling from prison cell. I know I'm kind of jumping around. Caught. Okay, so let's talk about how he got caught. So on August 16th, 1975, Ted failed to stop at a routine traffic stop and was caught and arrested by the Utah Highway Patrol officer in Salt Lake City. So this police officer pulls Ted over, not knowing who was in the car. And he comes up to the car and he's looking at the passenger seat. He notices that the passenger seat is missing. Okay, like, why is your passenger seat missing? Who has a missing seat? So he's looking, he's asking Ted, like, why is your seat missing? I know he advised like that, sir. The officer asked Ted to step out of the vehicle. And while the officer is searching Ted's car, that's when he comes across what he called a, quote, murder kit. And the items found included a mask made from pantyhose, a ski mask, handcuffs, rope, an ice pick, a crowbar, and a trash bag, as well as old trash bags, the contents of their trash bags, as well as a number of tools, like, you know, the ice pick, yeah, tools. So the police officer's like, if this doesn't scream, I'm doing something bad, then I don't know what does, you know, like, this is the biggest red flag I've ever seen in my life. Thank God this officer didn't let him go, like most officers in previous stories would kept done. And so the officer was like, hey buddy, I know you're not playing a game of Clue, okay? This is real life. Listen to this. And Ted tried to explain why he has all these items. He's like, these are just normal items that I had in my house. I'm bringing them back to my apartment. It's not a big deal. It just happens to look that way. Ted was known to be very charming. He could talk his way out of just about anything. I was about to say, I'm sure we've all met somebody like that, but maybe you haven't. I'm sure you just work with people like that who could just talk their way out of anything. Probably
Voldemort.
worked retail and sales.
Voldemort was like that.
Like that, you know, sellers.
No one ever thought he was the way he was because
So he's telling the officer,
he
yeah,
was such a
just take
good
this stuff back to
fucking
my apartment. Like, it's not a big deal.
deceitful motherfucker.
Have a whole ski mask and a pantyhose officer. But luckily, this police officer remembered the description of the car and suspect from a kidnapping in November the previous year. And this description and the car, it matched Ted exactly.
11/11. Making my wish and sealing it with my toast kiss.
Kept secret in beauty. Your first Manny system. So the officer tells Ted, you're under arrest, and arrests him. And after Ted was arrested, his apartment was then searched. But oddly enough, when they searched his apartment, they didn't brushes, surgical gloves, a sack of women's clothing, and a meat cleaver. So she's telling detectives all this. Now, she would go on to say that Ted, he was dead. Like, throughout his whole adult life, he was constantly dead. He never really had much money to his name, and he seemed to steal everything that he possessed. When she, Elizabeth, confronted him about a new TV and a stereo that he had gotten, she's like, where the hell did you get that? Well, I'm sure she didn't say that. She just asked him, though, like, where did you get this? He warned her and said, quote, if you tell anyone, I will break your fucking neck. And so she's like, all right, you know, and she's just asking. She also said that Ted would become very upset whenever she considered cutting her hair. And her hair was very long, just how Ted liked it. And a lot of his victims had longer hair. So she told detectives this, like, he just napped around Ted's hair, and obviously was stealing shit back from his skin. So at that time, Ted was driving a Volkswagen Beetle. He got arrested. They had to, you know, they went through his apartment and stuff, and they also needed to retrieve his Volkswagen Beetle, which Ted had sold to just like another teenager. Just like he doesn't want to get rid of it, you know? So they went and they got the Volkswagen Beetle, and they were quite lucky actually, because the new owner had empty and they put it under forensic testing. They found hairs in the vehicle that matched 3 different women. I think 2 of them were missing, one of them was still alive, and they were able to get the victim that was still alive. She had escaped Ted's attempt to kidnap and murder her. She was going to press charges, right? Ted was then put in a lineup, and he was one of them, and they brought in this victim who had escaped. They asked her to point out as many of these men the one who attempted to kidnap you, and she was able to point Ted out right away. And she said that Ted pretended to be an officer who runs left, and she was certain that Ted was the man who took her. For some gross reason, despite being charged with aggravated kidnapping and attempted criminal assaults for the victim who got away, Ted was let out of jail once again on bail. Awesome. Usually that goes so great, you know?
No, holy shit! Oh! I hit the wall!
The case of the woman who had escaped and was found guilty. He was sentenced to up to 15 years in prison on June the 30th, 1976. Now, this is just for the one woman who had escaped. This was not for any of the other, just anything he had done. This is just for the one lady, which is great. Like, they caught him 15 years prison. While he's in prison, obviously he's there, and we can get him for all the other stuff that he did. But Ted had remained in prison only up until October of 1976, because that's when he was able to escape prison and make a run for it. Very rare that you hear about people escaping prison, you know? Ted was then found not long after, hiding in some bushes out on the prison grounds. And once he was caught, he was sent to solitary confinement, and he would be in there for several weeks, which that will make you definitely lose it. That same month that Ted was able to escape from prison, he was charged with the murder of a woman in Aspen, and he was transferred for the trial and chose to represent himself in court, meaning he was excused from being handcuffed or shackled to bring his mark on. So at one point, Ted had asked to visit the law library, which was located in the courthouse, so he could conduct research for his case, and he was given permission. Cue eye roll. I mean, I think legally they have to, right? I don't know. Okay, anyways, Ted noticed once he entered the library that somebody had left open a window, okay? So in this room he's in, he notices, oh, the fucking window's open. When everyone left the room, it was just him for a split second. He jumped out of the second-story window and escaped. He would end up being recaptured, but it wasn't until 8 days later. This wasn't the last time he would attempt to escape either. He kept escaping, okay? And then there was another time in December, Ted would escape from custody again. He climbed out of a hole he made. Another time in December, Ted ceiling of his cell. Now, he was dedicated. I guess he really had nothing else to do, but he dropped more than 30 pounds so he could fit through the small opening he had made in the ceiling of his cell. At night, Ted would practice climbing through it and navigating the crawl space. He was able to break free on December 3rd
not gonna miss the cave. I appreciate everything it's done for me. How, it was the environment that got me away from Voldemort. So I didn't have to live with him and see him every single day. But I am so ready to be out of here. I mean, even my fucking therapist told me that, the lack of windows has been just affecting my mental health even more. So it's just like, I am so unbelievably ready to just be out of the cave. Like, that's probably why I've been so antsy and just wanting to, like, pack. Dude, everyone is blue. I wonder if the 10 and 11 are also blue. Hey, 949. Or 494. It was a very good race, for the most part. Oh, the last two people didn't even cross. Oh. I'm thankful for cannabis and all of the properties that it gives. It gives my mind clarity and less pain. It gives pain relief and clarity. How can that be fucking bad? It's not. Well, now that's cool.
The couple had met 6 years earlier when they both worked at the Department of Emergency Services. And then Carol gave birth to a daughter. Her name was Rose in 1982. And Jim was listed as the father of this baby. Not much is known about Rose today. Honestly, I mean, like, just leave it alone, Unless they want to speak as she spoke. No, I don't think so. I don't know. I just don't look up the kids and whatnot. I don't know. You can always feel free to dig around, but I still want to put out there on my channel, like the kid, Okay, anyways. So, Carol eventually, it took her some time, but she realized that Ted actually was guilty of all these crimes. She's like, oh my god, he really did do it, you sicko. And then she ended up divorcing him 3 years prior to his execution. According to her book. Her book is called
because it's only... Damn it! That makes me kind of upset that it's only on... Why can't we get it on the Scorpion too? The trial was covered by 250 reporters on 5 continents and was the first to be televised nationally in the U.S. I know, because we needed that. On February 10th, 1980, Ted was sentenced to death by electrocution. As the sentence was announced, he reportedly stood up and shouted, to get that one, we just have to complete. Oh, they look like speed runs. Alright. Let's go do some speed runs. So for 9 years he sat in prison. Ted confessed to 2 detectives from Idaho, Utah, and Colorado that he had committed numerous additional homicides, including several that were unknown to the police. So Ted would admit that there were other remains and other victims buried in Colorado, and he was telling this to detectives and investigators while he's in prison. And when they would ask, well, can you tell us where? Can you tell us who? Can you elaborate? Ted refused to. And in cases where he did give details, nothing was found. And it was believed that Ted would come forward with new information about other victims as a way to push back his execution date further and further. He was just buying himself more time. They can't kill this guy when he has all this information. Ted would eventually be put in the electric chair on January 24th, 1989. He was 42 years old. Now, many people celebrated when it was announced Ted was dead. People sang, danced, and set off fireworks across the street from the prison as the execution was carried out. Then they cheered loudly as the hearse drove off from the prison to carry Ted to wherever he was going. People were cheering, holding up their little woos. His body was cremated in Gainesville, and his ashes were said to be scattered at an undisclosed location in Washington State. Ted remained a suspect in several unsolved homicides
for others that may never be identified, which is fucking awful. That's where I get really torn about the death penalty, especially in a case like this. Like, yeah, he deserves to die and to suffer for what he did, but if there's still a lot of information they can share, it's like, shouldn't you try and get that out? I mean, they try. Whatever. He's dead. Not much we can do about it. During a conversation in 1987, he confided in the county detective that there were some murders he would never, ever talk about because they were, quote, too close to home, too close to family, or involved, quote, victims who were very young. In 2011, Ted's DNA profile was added to the FBI's database for future reference in hopes to close other unsolved murder cases. Also, Ted's 1968 Volkswagen Beetle was displayed in the National Museum of Crime and Punishment in Washington, D.C. Now it's currently at the Alcatraz East Crime Museum in Tennessee, so you can go there and see his Volkswagen. There are many, 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 many books, movies, TV series, docu-series, documentaries, interviews. There's a shit ton about Ted, his story. There are some from his surviving victims as well. And that, my friends, is just a little snippet about Ted Bundy. He was very awful. He was really gross. Unfortunately, we'll just probably never get closure as far as how many victims he had, how many there were, where they are. Like, that sucks. That fucking sucks. Ted also has become not an icon, maybe an icon. He has a lot of fans. He has a lot of fans. Just like with the Night Stalker and Jeffrey Dahmer. Lots of fans. And you know what's kind of interesting to me? Ted Bundy and the Night Stalker, they had very similar stories. They liked the attention, they liked the media, and I think they just overall enjoyed the spotlight, right? Anyways, I want to say a big thank you to you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day today. You make good choices. Please, please, please be safe out there. Say be careful, like don't talk to strangers. But I feel like a lot of his victims were just trying to like be nice and just help him. You know, which is so sad. It's like I don't say don't be nice to people. Listen to your intuition. I don't know. Oh shit. Anyways, please be safe out there.
Not shit.
See you guys later. Bye. When you buy Kroger brand products, you feel like you're winning. That's because they offer proven quality at lower prices. In fact, we guarantee that you and your family will love how Kroger brand products taste. Or you get your money back. So next time you're shopping for the family, look for delicious Kroger brand products because they'll make you all feel like you're winning. Shop now, in store, or online. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone. Hey, how's it going? Happy Monday. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. My name is Bailey Sarian, and today is Monday, which means it's murder, mystery, and makeup Monday. If you are new here, hi. How are you? My name is Bailey Sarian, and on Mondays I sit down and I talk about a true crime story that's been heavy on my noggin, and I do my makeup at the same time. If you're
I feel like I did good on that one.
makeup, I would highly suggest the subscribe button. Warning.
Yeah, I definitely did good on that one.
For mature audiences, it contains graphic descriptions of crime scenes, adult dialogue, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. Today's story is. I know I say this all the time because
Oh, that gold one is me. I gotta beat it
It's
somehow.
what? You know? So this story takes place in Overland Park, Kansas. Okay? So it's like southwest of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Why they have a Kansas City in Missouri? I don't know. They're just trying to confuse us. I think they have a Kansas City in Kansas too. Doesn't matter because it
Oh
takes
yeah,
place
I
in
feel real good
Kansas.
about that one.
It's not Tell me why I got so hung up
Okay.
on this for just far too long. In the 1980s, Overland Park was flourishing. There was a big boom in commercial and residential development, and the city was just really growing. I mean, it had almost 100,000 people living in the area. So, I mean, it was pretty good. It was a suburb to the city, and a lot of residents that were living there were middle-class families. Overall, the
Oh.
city had a positive reputation and was known for like an affordable and family-friendly community.
Oh, here's my fucking person.
One of the top 10 places to live in the United States.
Ah, no.
Fun fact. And it offers
Damn,
right? So she
that
was
30-second
very
one.
community,
She
so
was a
straight
good
to
one.
family. So
She was a good one.
right?
Okay.
With a bigger population, though, it was more and more suspicious people. So in late 1984, a 19-year-old woman named Paula Godfrey was living in the Overland Park area. Now she was looking for a job, a new job, and she found an advertisement in the paper for a secretary position. Now this position, it would involve travel and training, but overall just offered really
Oh
great
yeah.
pay. So Paula told her parents because she was going to this interview, and off she went. Unfortunately, though, this would be the last time that they saw
Ooh, I beat my
Paula
score,
as
but
they
haven't beat the
asked the
person.
family
Okay.
through
Oh yeah.
email.
Okay.
Okay, they hadn't heard from her, and it was just very unlike her to not check in. As days passed, they received typed letters in the mail signed by Paula. Now, these letters said that she was in need of time away, she wanted to find herself and become more independent. The family didn't believe that this letter was coming from her because it just sounded nothing like their daughter. So then the family goes down to the police to file a missing persons report. Now again, at this time, Paula was 19, so there was really nothing the police could do.
I beat mine, but still haven't beat them. Okay.
Someone this of age, maybe she just didn't want to be found. And most of all, there's really no evidence of any type of crime that may have taken place. So they did file the missing person report, but there really wasn't anything more that they could do. Okay, so then, January 11th, 1985, a woman calls 911. She's
Oh.
concerned about her daughter-in-law, Lisa Stacy. Now, she hadn't heard from Lisa in a
Damn, look at me
days.
zoom
She
in.
was growing more and more worried. Now, Lisa was only 19. She just had a baby who was now 4 months old. The baby's
Damn.
name was Tiffany.
No, that was not a good one.
Lisa was briefly married, but that only lasted for a couple of months. Her ex-husband ended up moving to Chicago and enlisted in the Navy, and then Lisa stayed behind in Kansas City, Kansas, not Missouri. Yeah, I know, it's confusing. When her husband moved, Lisa had nowhere to go. Okay, she had no job. She moved there with his family, so her family wasn't even there. She really had no options, so she ended up going to a local women's group home just to stay there until she figured things out. So not long after, Lisa told her sister-in-law that she was really excited because she got accepted into this Kansas City outreach program, which was a program that focused on young
Can we
mothers,
beat 29 and 30 seconds?
housing, daycare, and
Okay.
this program was started in Kansas City by the name of John Osborne, who wanted to help women, young women, get back on their feet. Not many people were accepted into this program, so Lisa was. She was happy, relieved, thrilled. So on January 9th, 1985, John Osborne, the guy who owned the outreach program, he picked Lisa and her baby Tiffany up from her in-laws' house before taking her into the program. John would end up taking Lisa and her baby over to
Damn it!
his offices and allow them to stay there.
Oh.
So
Damn
that very
it.
same night,
Okay.
Lisa called her mother-in-law and made home. She was crying. She seemed very upset because she was told that her mother-in-law was trying to take her baby away from her, and then she was also told that her mother-in-law was bad-mouthing her, just calling her a bad mother. So her mother-in-law just all starts confused because this wasn't the case. She never said that. She wasn't taking the baby, and she never said Lisa was a bad mom. So she's just trying to calm her down and figure out
Shit!
exactly is
No! Oh no!
upset on the phone. And
Because I crashed. No.
questions of things.
Ow! I took second in the thingy, but I was trying to get first, but also just beat my own score. 29 and 30 seconds is fucking hella good though. Ooh, is it overtime? Dude. See how many that counted towards. Because I've only done speedrun once. That's the most I've ever done it, like, ever.
best night's sleep in the sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off your first order at bowlandbranch.com. Code INCREDIBLE. Exclusions
Okay, we didn't
apply.
get
See
any of
site for
them.
details.
Guys, are you still dealing with loss of energy, poor
Oh, we
sleep,
did.
weight
Okay,
gain,
we got one
or
of them.
ED? Revive Men's Health Portland offers guaranteed low T and ED treatments. And this month only, qualified patients get a free monthly
75.
supply of personalized
Damn,
pain
that's a
medication,
lot of.
plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. Availability is limited. Book your
But I
free exam
want.
and consultation today.
I want that though.
503-944-1111.
Because it's so fucking cool.
That's 503-944-1111.
Okay. I just gotta.
Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Guess we're doing speed runs.
So back to the 911 call. So her mother-in-law calls 911.
I did 10 speed runs in that last one. That's dope.
Now the next day, the in-laws, they call up the hotel that Lisa was
Oh,
supposed to stay at, and they ask the hotel, like, hey, is Lisa still there? Is she still checked in? And that's when they were informed that she had already checked out. The bill had been paid by a local business under the name John Robinson. Now, none of this was making any damn sense, but they really didn't know, like, where else to go from here. Now, a couple of days go by, and the family randomly gets a voicemail because they're out, like, doing their thing. So they come home, and there's a message on the answering machine, so they listen to it, and it's from some guy named Father Martin, who worked at the local mission. Well, on this message, he says that Lisa and her baby are fine, but they ended up leaving town with a guy named Bill. Super random, but, like, okay. The family then decides to call the local mission and ask if there was a Father Martin working there, and then that's when they were informed that there was no Father Martin. No Father Martin working there. So, like, John Robinson guy, the man in charge of the program, and he's like, yeah, I did pick Lisa up. She came down to my office, and I was wanting to help her out, but she also brought this guy named Bill with her. And Lisa said that this is my boyfriend. So John offered her help, and then she kindly declined,
Ooh.
saying that she was no longer going to need the help. She was going to
A different track.
Bill and start a new life. She wanted to pass this opportunity on to somebody else who needed it. So the police passed this information on to the family, but again, it's really not making much sense to them. Like, who the hell is this Bill guy? And they don't really have any answers. And because Lisa is of age, like over 18, there's really not much more they can do. I mean, for their investigation, I guess, it's like Lisa just maybe wanted to start a new life with this Bill guy. So a few
Yeah.
He sees that the place is shut down. There's like nobody in there. And the reason that it shut down was because this guy, John Robinson, the CEO of this said company, he was about to start a prison sentence. John Robinson guy, well, he had been arrested a few weeks earlier for fraud and theft. And in police's eyes, he was just really seen as like a small-time con man. Now, this was in the late 80s, so the police kept their records by hand, and there was like no connection being made between all the disappearances to these three women, Catherine, Stacy, and Lisa. So in the investigators' eyes, these three women were seen as troubles, and they just ran off to start a new life. Police just believed that these women didn't want to be found, and they really had no way of connecting the dots. I think technically they're supposed to communicate with each other, but you know, it wasn't happening. These cases end up going cold, and 10 years pass. So March 25th, 2000, 27-year-old Suzette Trout, she was living with her mother in Michigan, and she was just ready to move out and be on her own. She ended up finding a job in Kansas, working for a wealthy businessman who did a lot of international travel. Her new position was to take care of this wealthy businessman's father, who was older and just needed assistance while he was away being a wealthy businessman. Now, Suzette and her mother, Carolyn, were super close. They talked all the time. So her mom was sad that her daughter was leaving, but she was just excited. You know, she started a new chapter. She's doing her thing. You have to support it, right? So Suzette moved out to Kansas City and would call her mom often, even emailing her and just let her know, like, how everything was going. But 1 month after Suzette moved, the phone calls, the emails, everything just stopped. Suzette just seemed to, like, vanish. So this was very strange because, again, Suzette and her mother were very close. They would talk on the phone almost like every single day. So to not hear from her for a couple of days was very unlike her. So Suzette's mother, she ends up finding like some contact information for this business.
What?
She calls him up. She's like, hey, so my daughter moved out there. She's supposed to be working for you. I haven't heard from her. Do you know anything? And he tells her that Suzette took off with a man named Jim Turner, and they were going to sail around the world together on a sailboat. Now, this didn't make any damn sense. If your daughter was going to sail around the world, okay, Suzette would have told her. She's like, no. Now, the man on the phone said that Suzette had only worked for him for like a short period of time, and that he really didn't have any answers for her. Suzette's mother, she, contacts police and tells them that her daughter's missing. They need a lawyer, and that her daughter was working for this man named John Robinson. So then Suzette's mother starts to receive letters in the mail from Suzette. One came from California and another one came from Mexico. Now these letters, it said that she was sailing around the world with the new love she had found and not to worry about her. Now these letters, they were typed, but her mother knew sure as heck that these were not from Suzette. Now she knew this because there were no spelling errors in this letter, which was not like her. Sometimes in Cuntent you had to not be able to spell that right. So her mom's like, yeah, this isn't her. There's no way this is her. Now, but the weirdest thing of all was that the letter was signed by Suzette at the bottom, okay? It was her daughter's signature, and it was, when you look at it or whatever, it's like there's an indentation. She signed it. It wasn't printed. It wasn't like a stamp. It was a signature. So it was just strange. And she's thinking, crap, like, am I worrying too much? Like, I don't understand. So now at this point, when Suzette goes and tells the police about John Robinson, now the name is starting to sound very familiar because there were people in that office who were also aware of the missing girls from the 80s. Also, technology had advanced, and at this point, they were able to keep better records on the missing people in their system.
Holy
not
shit.
Just, like, pen to paper.
Someone
But
managed to
anyway,
do that
so
last track
John
in 27
Robinson
seconds
is raising some red flags, and the
and
FBI ends up getting
136
so they decide to
milliseconds.
look
That's
into
insane.
John Robinson's background, and they see that he ran a couple of businesses. He was currently running an independent magazine around farming life. He was married, he had 4 kids, and he was well respected in the neighborhood. He came from a middle-class family, was raised by a religious family, was a Boy Scout, involved with the local church, and he was also involved with local charities. Now, John literally seemed like a total normal family dude. besides his arrest records, okay, so he had a pretty lengthy arrest record. In 1971, he was arrested again for a probation violation, and then in 1976, he was arrested for fraud. In 1981, felony for embezzlement, and then in 1986, he was arrested for theft. To the investigators, it wasn't making much sense to them because he was a con man. He was stealing money, which is bad. What does a con man have to do with these missing women? They couldn't just go up to him and arrest him because there was no proof of any crime in the first place. So John is officially on their radar. You know, they don't want to go up to John and just start asking him some wild questions, potentially tipping him off. So they decide, okay, let's start looking into Suzette's background and see if that can lead us somewhere. Maybe they're missing something with Suzette, which they were. So investigators go and they confiscate Suzette's computer and they like search her online activity. That's when they find that Suzette was really into BDSM. BDSM is a variety of erotic practices, role-playing involving bondage, discipline, dominance and submission, sadomasochism, and, you know, now BDSM may not be your cup of tea, but there's a large community who does participate in this, and most of all, it's always with consenting partners. So police learned that Suzette really lived a completely different life from mine. She was very active in the BDSM websites, and she was always in the BDSM focused chat rooms. She was looking for partners to engage with, and according to Suzette's friends, she was sexually submissive and was always in search of a master, someone she could be a consenting slave to. So investigators learned that Suzette had found a new master online, and over time they were building a relationship. And the full truth was that Suzette moved to Kansas City to be this person's slave, and also work as a caretaker for his elderly father, the master's name, John Robinson.
Guys, are you still dealing with loss of energy, poor sleep, weight gain, and even ED? FriYAY Men's Health Portland offers guaranteed low T and ED treatments, and this month only, qualified patients get a free 1-month supply of personalized ED medication, plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. Availability is limited. You can re-examine consultations today. Call 503-944-1111. That's 503-944-1111. Or visit FriYAYMensHealth.com. Time is a luxury for us, especially
Oh,
for moms.
wait, okay.
Skincare routine is easy, fast, and gives us results. Plus, one of your products had thousands of 5-star reviews. We're natural and affordable. Well, say hello to Dime Beauty. Dime Beauty is clean, high-end skincare that's affordable, and it really works. Not sure where to start? I highly recommend the Work System. It's everything you need in one powerful package. Take out the guesswork with a proven routine that includes a gentle yet effective cleanser, a super skin toner, 2 incredible serums, and 2 luxurious moisturizers. See what everyone is raving about. Dime has over 2 million happy customers, and their product reviews are literally 5 stars. And right now through Monday, Dime has their Spring into Savings sale. Get 25% off site-wide. Go to dimebeautyco.com for 25% off every product on the site. That's Dime
say that at that moment, like, all the color just left John's face, and he had a full-blown anxiety attack. Like, get it together, John. You knew this was coming. So they get a bunch of, they get the warrants and whatnot, and they confiscate all of his computers and all of his files. Now, he had tons of files that dated back many, many years, so it was like a little treasure trove. While going through all of his stuff, they realized that John had two storage units. One was in Kansas and another in Missouri. Plus, he had a family farm in Lynn County, Kansas. They go down to the Kansas storage line. They open her up, and inside of there, they find tons of birth certificates, driver's license, social security cards. All of these were belonging to some of the women that were missing. So then they head down to Lynn County to search the family farm. It's a pretty big property. They had like a mobile home, they had a storage shed. They're searching everything right next to the storage shed. They found two large 88-gallon barrels. So they're trying to move the barrels, and one of the guy tips over, and some liquid starts to leak out the side, and it seemed to be blood. So they open it up. And inside they find Suzanne's body inside the barrel. So then there's a second barrel. Now they open that one up, and they find another woman inside of it. They had no idea who this victim was. So now they're thinking like, oh my gosh, oh dear, how many people has he really killed that we don't even know about? So investigators go out to search the other storage unit that was down in Missouri. Well, we're in Missouri. Right? Missouri is okay. They open that up, and what do they find? 3 more barrels with 3 more bodies inside. I got questions. First of all, does it smell? Or no? Okay, that's my first question. My second question is, how many people are doing this with storage units?
Guys, are you still dealing with loss of energy, poor sleep, weight gain, and even ED? Revive Men's Health Programs offers guaranteed low T and ED treatments, and this month only, qualified patients get a free 1-month supply of personalized ED medication, plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. Availability is limited. Your free exam and consultation today. Call 503-944-1111. That's 503-944-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
No, that's all the questions I have. So they find 3 more victims. Now, none of these victims were the women that investigators had on their list. So they're just like, oh dear. On June 12th, they were able to ID the victim in the barrel on the farm. She was a 21-year-old girl named Isabella, who was a Polish immigrant, and she had just moved to Indiana. She then moved to Kansas City to marry John in 1999. In the storage documents, they found a slave contract between Isabella and John, which gave John almost all control over her life. And then one day she just vanished. Isabella's family, they never reported her missing because they thought that she was traveling around Europe. They had been receiving signed letters and emails from her. They just thought she was doing her thing. Yeah, so they never put in a missing persons report, which is super sad, but at the same time I get it, like some parents are super watching with their kids, but then some are just kind of like, yeah, whatever. So, you know, we didn't know. Anyways, the both victims that were found in these barrels, Isabella and Suzanne, both of them had died from just trauma to the head. It was believed that they had come from a small land. And then I guess John put them in the barrel and then just let them be in a barrel. Like, now the 3 victims that were found inside of the storage unit in Missouri, these were like not the 3 that investigators were looking for or expected. Lisa, Paula, and Catherine. But they did get the autopsy done in June, and they were able to ID them. So one of them was 49-year-old Beverly Bonner. Another one was 45-year-old Sheila and her 15-year-old disabled daughter, Debbie Faith. They see that none of these people had missing persons reports. None of them. The victim, Beverly, she had worked as a prison librarian. She met John when John was incarcerated at the prison she was working at in the 90s, so they met there. And then the two of them started having an affair. Both of them
I just wanted to beat myself.
by a judge.
Finally did.
Attorneys
I'm so
showing
proud.
that this was a legit adoption.
Oh my
It
gosh.
turned out that the girl who was now a teenager was actually
Yes.
Lisa's baby, aka Tiffany, aka one of John's victims. And to the beginning of the story. Yes. What? Yes. That's how I felt. I was like, no. Yes. That's so messed up on so many levels. Okay, look. A photograph was given to John's brother on the day that the baby was adopted. And it was the same
I
photo
beat
that
my
Lisa's family
best score
had
by
of
6 seconds.
Lisa's baby
I'll
as
take it.
well. Again, when she went missing, she was only 4 months old.
Oh, damn. That brings out my competitive side. Holy shit.
The baby's footprint
I'm
from
just
her
like,
birth
I
record.
must
And
beat
Lisa
myself.
continued
Because that's what it is. You're not
as an
going up
adult,
against... I mean, I guess in a way you're going up against the other people, but I feel like I'm just trying to... I'm competing against myself.
John's brother had no idea that this had happened. He had all the legal documents showing that this was a legit adoption.
Ooh, look at all the pretty
Reality,
wheels.
John had forged all of these documents, and yeah, could you imagine? So, like, obviously, this is shocking information to the family. They had no idea. They had no idea. The daughter gets put in such I just couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine. Could you imagine? I know I keep saying that, but I just couldn't imagine. What would you do? So the daughter, she was a teenager at this time.
Nice.
She could stay
Like halfway
with
there.
the Robinson family, or she could come back and Lisa's family. But
I'm glad that
she
we still
decided
have
to stay with the Robinson family because it was like all she knew. They
3
raised
days
her. Like,
to do
that
it.
was her family. No judge. She was later
I'm
on
done
in
with
life
speed running, so
sued
I'm
the
gonna take a little
hospital
break
who
and then we'll...
recommended John's outreach program to her mom. John's outreach program was like in partnership with this hospital, and they were recommending people to him. Yeah. So I mean,
We leave here in an hour and a half. Resume mermy duties. Resume mommy duties.
John Robinson. He was
I got Rainbow's chair already set up and
he was
room.
now on trial for the
Got her
murder of Lisa
table
Isabella
available in her
Susan.
kitchen.
Now, he was pleading
She
not
still has her
guilty.
blocks in her room.
Dumbass. In January of 2003, Missouri sentences John to life imprisonment for the murder of Lisa and 2 death penalties for the murder of Suzanne and Isabella. He had to go to Missouri and still stand trial there, so he ends up making a deal with the courts to avoid the death sentence. He ends up pleading guilty to the murder of Beverly, Sheila, and Debbie. Now, sadly, to this day, they never found the bodies of Lisa, Catherine, and Paula. They have no idea where they went, and like, geez, there's probably more. Now, John would end up spending the rest of his life in prison. He's currently sitting on death row in Kansas. Now, you're probably wondering what happened to his wife and stuff. Well, his wife, poor thing, she's like, I'm saying poor thing because I don't believe that she had any idea what was going on, but she also like tried to stay by her man and just support him because that was like the right thing to do. They were married for over 40 years, and in 2005 that's when she files for divorce. John sucks. He is disgusting. He murdered innocent women, took advantage of women, but then he like ruined all the lives around him. He's just like this one selfish ass wife. This is a side note. I think this is the first time in murder mystery makeup history where I didn't finish my makeup before my story. Well, is it? I mean, there's been other times where I just stopped doing my makeup, but I'm truly just not done. This is groundbreaking information. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. And that, my friends, is the awful story about John Robinson. He was something else. I mean, the things that frustrate me the most about stories like this one is like, why can't you just tell us where all of your victims are? You don't even have to tell me. Just tell police. I mean, at least all the families can get closure. Like, you're gonna die anyways. You're on death row. You're not going anywhere. Like, why can't you just tell them? It's so messed up. I didn't look into, like, where John's family is now, his ex-wife and his 4 kids and stuff, because I feel like, don't. Just leave them out of this. They've been through enough, What did we learn here? I guess something we can take away is that, So you should still always at least try your best to run like a background check on people that you're meeting online. Yeah, I know some of you are just trying to get that D. You're just trying to like meet someone really quick, whatever. But try your best. Just take a moment and do some internet stalking. Try and find their information, make sure they're a legit person, who they say they are, and try your best to find somebody you can tell when you're meeting somebody else. Hey, loser, I'm going to meet this guy, blah, blah, blah. You know, so at least somebody knows. And I'm not trying to victim blame saying these people didn't do this because it wasn't like a thing yet, right? It was the internet was just starting. But now we have like all the information and resources at our fingertips, and I just want you to be safe. So make sure to background check people. Anyways, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Be safe out there, kitty cats. I love and appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. You make good choices. Big thank you to BetterHelp for partnering with me on today's video. But other than that, I will see you guys later. Make good choices. Bye.
You know, I was thinking to myself that I wouldn't do any packing today, but I think I'm gonna at least pull down the stuff from over there and get it dusted off, and then just start putting all of our memory stuff into new boxes, because the two boxes that I currently have, they're no longer big enough. So I have two new big boxes. What's funny is the shoe boxes they're in are almost like memories themselves. Lower East Side, Soho, my Payless shoe days.
And this month only, qualified patients get a free 1-month supply of personalized ED medication. Plus,
murder.
Selling a little oral into do we just hit a and whatever you're selling, AI powered all-star. Shopify powered there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at Shopify.
Hi friends, how are you today?
Audioboom, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/audioboom now.
Whoopsies.
Help to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/audioboom.
Hi friends, how are you today? Today is Monday, which means it's Murder, Mystery, and Makeup Monday. Thank you. If you are new here, hi, I'm Bailey. And on Mondays, I sit down and I talk about a true crime story that's been heavy on my noggin, and I do my makeup at the same time. So today's story takes place in Colorado Springs in 1990. Oh yeah. That's where we're going, babe. Now,
I was 40 years old. I was 3. I turned 4 that year. Having a birthday at the end of the year, you know, like, for example, I turn 38 in 2024, but I'm 37 right now, and it's May of 2024.
Right? Yeah. But I guess it's considered a small town. Okay. It has a very large military area, and it's right near several army bases, and it's also home to the Air Force Academy. So maybe you can get like a sense of what the area and the people might be like. Army spouses, church-going folk, locals who work in flower shops, you know, that kind of thing. Our story begins on a September evening, again in Colorado Springs, where a woman by the name of Diane Hood, she was coming out of a local community center. They held weekly support groups for people who had been diagnosed with lupus, and Diane would attend the support group. If you are unfamiliar with what lupus is, according to lupus.org, lupus is a chronic long-term disease that can cause inflammation and pain in any part of your body. It's which means that your own immune system, the system within you that like usually fights off infections, it attacks healthy tissue instead.
Damn.
So your body's kind of like attacking itself. Diana was diagnosed
Yeah.
with lupus in the 1980s, long after she had moved to Colorado with her husband. His name was Brian Hood. He and Diane, they had met at Angelo State University in Texas, where she was a cheerleader, and Brian, he was like a big college football star, like super cute, very Lifetime movie of them, you know, just like football player and the cheerleader together, you know. So they met, they dated, and once they were out of college, they went on to get married in 1980. Their friends would describe them as super cute, this perfect couple, you know. I'm going like, you know, it's just like people don't really know. But we gotta stop giving opinions on couples because you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, okay? You don't know. After all these stories we've done, I'm like, we gotta stop making comments on people and how
I like
perfect
how
they are.
Jennifer Walters is wearing gloves, so it's like she's wearing racing gloves. Oh, we gotta keep it focused, you gotta say
So
so.
right after they got married, they moved to Colorado
moment.
Springs, had 3 children, and in 1986, Brian gave up his job. He was selling liquor, and he became an insurance salesman. Now, after that, he not quickly, but like over time, he converted to Christianity, and then he became born again, got like baptized in the church. Brian got heavily involved with the church, and he would actually go on to
Shit.
become
Oh, okay.
so he
Oh, when the track doesn't load in all the way and you think you're flying through the air.
That's a little bit about Brian and Diane. So let's get back to that evening in September. Diane, she's coming out of her regular meeting. She's walking to her car, and then all of a sudden she feels her purse gets yanked from under her arm. And she's like, what the fuck? So she turns around and she sees that someone's holding a gun at her, close by her, holding a gun to her. Now Diane can't tell who it is because whoever this person is, they're covered head to toe. Ski mask, they had military this person go back and shoot Diane a second time? Like, that just didn't make any sense. Sure does not. So police ran ballistics on the gun that killed Diane, and it brought up even some stranger results. Yes, it did. The analysis confirmed that the weapon in the case was most likely a revolver from the
Cheers.
1870s.
It is 12:22. Oh, 222, pencilly tote time. And, oh,
Now, this is not exactly the kind
have
of
an
thing
hour
you find at your local
until I gotta
store
get
or
ready and go get
Walmart and
the
pick it up
tiny
really
human.
quick. This is a collector's piece, this gun. Literally, though, like, not everybody has it. But it does make sense to the overall story because there was a witness who called 911 when the attack was happening, and they said that the killer was standing over Diane, and this person cocked the gun, which on most modern handguns you don't need to recock. Yeah, I guess they do it for you. But with a peacemaker, that's not the case. You have to cock the weapon every
Let's
time
do
you
one more
fire.
speed run so we can get the
Whoever killed
50.
Diane did
Because
so
I gotta
with
do
intent.
6 and I'll get 50. And that way, all that's left is the last 25.
The weapon again,
So,
and finish the
because I want to
job.
do some pew
Like,
pew.
it took some work. It wasn't just an easy, like, bang, bang, give me your back. You get I'm laying down. And then that made me think, like, maybe that's why they call it the peacemaker. Because, like, by the time you reload, recock, or whatever, you probably had enough time to make peace with the person you're attempting to shoot. That's my theory. I could Google it, but I like my assumption better. The peacemaker. I made it up, so don't go. I don't know if it's true, so just don't quote me somewhere on that one. Now, some might think this is a very small detail, but nay, of course not. This is actually a very important detail. A revolver from the 1870s was used in this murder. You're not just gonna find that, like, on anyone. This revolver. You're not just gonna go up to some random guy's house and find an 1870 revolver. You know, like, this is a big deal. So police are like, yay. Now, the downside is that they really had no leads, or, like, they didn't know where to go from here. Who could have done this? It wasn't the husband. Some of the investigators are believing that it was a robbery gone wrong, but I mean, all signs were pointing to this to being really impossible. Okay? I mean, yeah, her bag and her stuff, her credit card's money missing. There were just too many strange details mixed in. Things were not adding up. Investigators had no links. So, this case could have gone cold, but it wasn't what happened next. Probably wouldn't have been so cold. So, a day after Diane was murdered, the owner of a local flower shop called in to give a tip to the Colorado Springs police. The owner of this flower shop said that he read about Diane's death in the local paper, and he was just feeling really uneasy about it. And police are like, why, sir? Why are you feeling so uneasy about it? And the owner tells them that he
Oh, motherfucker.
Diane's husband, Brian, but it wasn't the husband. Don't get ahead of yourself. Interesting. Now we're getting somewhere, right? Brian's alibi was pretty airtight on what did it. But he's having an affair. It doesn't prove anything, but it's something, you know? So police need more details before they can, like, move forward. So they go down to the flower shop and they
Motherfucker.
And download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/makeup. ZocDoc.com/makeup. It might shock some of you to know that I don't really like leaving my house. So that means I don't get makeup that much. It's well, if you're like me, what if I told you that you can get all of the makeup you need, plus a bunch of the hottest makeup you've been dying to try, delivered right to your door? Well, with Ipsy, now you can. For those who don't know, Ipsy is a monthly subscription service that provides subscribers with a makeup bag full of high-quality cosmetic products and samples. It's like your very own custom beauty swag bag. If you want to get started, all you have to do is go to Ipsy.com and take their free beauty quiz, so that way they know what to send you. It's a little too easy. Plus, Ipsy will send you 5 beauty products hand-selected just for you. All different brands, all different products, and they give you a cute little makeup bag. In my most recent order, I got a full cover foundation from Tarte, this really great night oil from Sunday Riley, a very refreshing rose facial spray called Cuntent from Grace and Stella, beauty blender makeup sponges because I always have to have those ready to go. And then one of my favorites, Murad Broad Spectrum SPF Moisturizer. Obsessed is an understatement. I know you guys are going to love Ipsy. And the best part about Ipsy, the products they send you are worth over $50, but you only have to pay $13 a month. And if you join in now, you'll get a free gift in your first Ipsy makeup bag. That's 6 beauty products on your first bag for only $13. Go to Ipsy.com/makeup. That's Ipsy, IPSY.com/makeup. New year, new you. Beauty products from Ipsy. The best kept secret in beauty. So police, they go to Jennifer's house and they decide to question Jennifer's husband. Police go to their house, remember, and they're talking with him. Ben invites him in, and that's when they find out that Ben over here, he has a collection of antique guns. Yeah, and take one guess what gun they found there. Right there in like all the antiqueness. Oh, it's the 1870s Colt Single Action Army Peacemaker gun. The Peacemaker. Huh, weird. It's right there. Look right at it. So that's pretty hard to ignore, right? I mean, that's the smoking gun.
Oh.
I mean, how many people in Colorado Springs has an antique gun collection, and not to mention this specific weapon. So, police are pretty sure that, again, they found their smoking gun. So, they actually end up showing Ben the clothes that they found with Diane's purse. And they're like, these look like your clothes. Are these your clothes? Because it's an army jacket, it's like military fatigues, just all of it. But he tells police, like, yeah, that kind of looks like my stuff. And not only that, but police, they found dog hairs on the clothing that matched what they had collected from Ben and Jen's house, and also from inside their car. Yep, all signs are pointing to one of you. Okay, well, luckily for Ben, he had an alibi. He worked at Fort Carson. Now, anytime he went to work...
The other night I was watching a movie, alone, per usual, and I was really craving my favorite loaded nachos from this restaurant across town. It was late, but they're open 24 hours. I was like, should I just go pick them up? I'll drive over there. I mean, if I've learned anything on murder, mystery, and makeup, it's that I should not go out wandering late at night, especially alone, because that would, or even could, cost me. But you know what won't cost me? Delivery fees on Dash Pass by DoorDash. Whether it's food from your favorite restaurant, groceries from across town, or anything in between, Dash Pass has got you covered. Dash Pass is an exclusive membership from DoorDash that gets you unlimited $0 delivery fees on eligible orders and members-only deals and discounts. Dash Pass gives you special access to exclusive promotions and menu items, all for $9.99 a month,
stealing, I don't know. But now with Dash Pass, I can start saving, which is always a good thing, you know? So they say. Get more from delivery for less with Dash Pass. $0 delivery fees and reduced service fees on eligible DoorDash orders. Sign up for Dash Pass today and get your first 30 days free if you're a new member. Subject to change. Terms apply. Open the door to $0 delivery fees and savings you can't get anywhere else. Sign up for Dash Pass today, only on DoorDash, and get your first 30 days free if you're a new member. Subject to change. Terms apply.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Forever to like cock it or whatever and shoot it. Thanks, babe. Thanks. So kind of you. Ben told police that Jen, she had only kept the gun for a few days, and then she like came back and was all kind of like demanding that he take the gun back, and it was weird, but it was like, okay. And that was like right before he ended up meeting with police. So, whoa. Police, they come to Jennifer with all this information. They lay it out all in front of her and in front of Ben. And they're like, look, you little kitty cats. We know your husband owns the murder weapon, and we know he lent it to you, Jennifer. And we know the clothes are his. And we know the hair on these clothes matches what we found in your car. There's just lots of we knows going on. And putting her on the spot, calling her out, also in front of her husband. Jennifer, she can't deny the evidence that they have, and she's just a total slob. Jennifer realizes that she has no way out of this, babe. She has no way out, right? She's cornered. Oh no. Oh dear. What do? She cracks. She ends up admitting to everything right on the spot. She tells the cops that, like, yes, she was having an affair with Brian. And not only that, but Jennifer admitted that yes, she had indeed killed Diane. So, boom shakalaka, case closed. Jennifer killed Diane because she's sleeping with Diane's husband, right? Well, no. Yes, nay, but no. But yes, but Jennifer, she still had so much more to say. She's like, let me tell you though, because that's not all. Let me tell you. If she's going down, everyone's going down with her. So Jennifer is spilling her guts out to the police. She's telling them everything, all in front of her husband, too. Her husband's, like, right next to her. Not only did Jennifer kill Diane, but she told police that it was Diane's husband, Brian, who put it up to her. Gasparilla. During her confession, Jennifer admitted that her and Brian's relationship was way more than just friends, right? We said that. They'd been meeting at the fitness club in the jacuzzi for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I guess one day Jen told Brian that her husband was going out of town on military duty. She's like, so I become alone. And naturally, Brian saw this as like an opportunity to hang out with her. Just as friends, though. But that night, things were taken to the next level. The two would end up having sexual relations at her place. And this is where it all started. After that, the two of them were hooking up left and right. Well, as much as they could. So after the two of them hook up, Jennifer goes on to say that Brian tells her that they've become one in God's eyes. Like, that's literally what he said after they hooked up, which would be a little weird to say after you just got done slapping meats together, but okay, Brian, Well, Brian tells Jennifer that their union isn't considered a sin under God because it is his will that they are together. So it's like not a sin because they're supposed to be together. He's able to convince Jennifer that it would be a much greater sin for him to divorce his wife while she was ill with lupus than have an affair with Jennifer. Like, that was the most appropriate way for them to be together. What a fucking winner. In other words, Brian was bringing God into their relationship or into the conversation to justify the affair. And remember, he's a church leader, so Maybe it was easy to believe. I'm not sure. But poor God. He's like, why are you guys always bringing me into this bullshit? Leave me out of this. I got miracles to do. That's my impression of God. Just kidding. Yeah, so Brian and Jennifer, they would keep hooking up for like months and months and months. They'd often meet or try to meet in secret locations or go to places where they thought nobody would recognize them. Because it was such a small town, I mean, they tried to go just anywhere they could find where no one would see them. But it kind of seemed like that wasn't a main priority for them, and they didn't really try that hard. Because, for example, there was one time, or not even one time, there was numerous times when the meetup spot would be at Jennifer's work, the flower shop. Yeah, so the owner of the flower shop saw the two of them, and he's the one who eventually tipped off the cops as to what was going on. So that little sneaking around thing didn't really work for them, which is good, right? Because then they got caught, but they're just so stupid. How can you be so dumb? Okay, so during the affair, as Brian and Jennifer are getting more involved with each other and start sharing more of themselves, Brian talks a lot more about his wife. He started telling Jennifer that now that they were quote unquote one, it was God's plan for them to be together, and the timing, it couldn't be any better. Brian would eventually tell Jennifer that it was God's plan that she kill Diane so the two of them could be together. And she's like, oh my God, I can't kill Diane. Whatever, I can't do that. But Brian ends up convincing her that this sin would be forgiven because it would be necessary for them to become one. Therefore, God will forgive you for murdering somebody. And he's like a higher up, so I think she believed him. I'm not sure what her thought process was. When Jennifer was revealing all of this during her trial, she said that he felt in his mind that to murder her was less of a sin than to divorce her. And she also went on to say that morning of the murder, Brian, he had called her and he told her, hey, Diane, she's going to be at that weekly meeting show I goes to later that day. Just letting you know. Apparently, the two of them had been planning this like robbery act for quite some time, with the goal of it looking like a random attack. And allegedly, Brian told Jennifer, if you love me, you can do this and we can have a life together. I freaking roll. What a yuck. No dude is that great that you need to murder someone for them. Yeah, no. Let me think.
The other night I was watching a movie, alone, per usual, and I was really craving my favorite loaded nachos from this restaurant across town. It was late, but they were open 24 hours. I was like, should I just go pick them up? I'll drive over there. I mean, if I've learned anything on murder mystery makeup, it's that I should not go out wandering late at night, especially alone, because that would, or even could, cost me. But you know what won't cost me? Delivery fees on Dash Pass by DoorDash. Whether it's food from your favorite restaurant, groceries from across town, or anything in between, Dash Pass has got you covered. Dash Pass is an exclusive membership from DoorDash that gets you unlimited $0 delivery fees on eligible orders and members-only deals and discounts. Dash Pass gives you special access to exclusive promotions and menu items, all for $9.99 a month, which pays for itself in 2 orders on average. Whether you're in a rush, or maybe you just want to enjoy a cozy night in, Dash Pass is the most budget-friendly way to get everything you need delivered right to your door. So forget about those extra delivery fees and enjoy your favorite items stress-free. I know, I was like, what is this? If I knew about this, I would have signed up a long time ago. I mean, I abuse DoorDash. Like some days my DoorDash order of dessert is showing up at the same time as the dinner I ordered, and it's like a 3-way I wasn't ready to be a part of. But if I wasn't paying for delivery fees, I mean, who knows what I could have bought by now? Lambo, a new kidney, New Zealand, I don't know. But now with Dash Pass, I can start saving, which is always a good thing, So they say. Get more from delivery for less with Dash Pass.
$0 delivery fees, and reduced service fees on eligible DoorDash orders. Sign up for Dash Pass today and get your first 30 days free if you're a new member. Subject to change. Terms apply. Open the door to $0 delivery fees and savings you can't get anywhere else. Sign up for Dash Pass today, only on DoorDash, and get your first 30 days free if you're a new member. Subject to change. Terms apply.
Call from mom. Answer it. Call silenced.
Instacart knows nothing gets between you and the game. That's why they make ordering from your couch easy. Stock up today and get all your groceries for the week delivered in as fast as 30 minutes without missing a minute of the game.
You have 47 new voicemails.
Download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
No. Well, after he tells her that, like, if you'll do this if you love me, you know, and then he tells Diane, make sure to shoot her twice, just to make sure. What a dick. I'd be like, why don't you do it yourself then, you little bitch? So then, the trial. Jennifer, she was arrested just 2 days after killing Diane Hood on September 14th, 1990. She was charged with murder in the first degree, and because of her thorough confession and her testimony, police also arrested Brian, as they should. After Jennifer told the police her whole story, that's when they started looking a little bit more into Brian. Turns out he had been having conversations with his friends about possibly killing his wife, like for a while now, and none of them said anything. Like, he was not quiet about it. This dude is just yip-yapping. And not only that, this sloppy ass also took out $100,000 life insurance policy on her before the killing. Give me a fucking break. So it's not looking great for those two, is it? Brian's lawyer, not thrilled. He's not excited. He's like, hold on a minute, you guys. Everybody, calm down. Brian is not to be blamed here. He said it was Jennifer. Jennifer's the one who murdered Diane, not Brian. Brian was at home. And Brian's attorney also said that during the phone conversation they had that morning between Brian and Jennifer, because he did call her, but during that phone conversation, Brian actually broke up with Jennifer, and she acted on her own to get revenge. That was his defense. So it kind of
Me and my hair were having a moment. I went with low ponytail. So it looks the best.
I don't believe Brian is guilty. I believe
My
this
goodness.
woman, she took my
But
sister, and now she's trying to
it
take
is a
Brian away
quarter
from
to
us, like the
1.
family.
I am gonna leave here earlier because I know that I'm gonna need more time. So I'm actually gonna end the meeting now. Excuse me, because I'm gonna leave here and probably. Originally, I would leave here at 1:30, but I'm gonna leave here at like 1:15, so like in a half hour. Cause we gon' be slow. my body hurts and I haven't had to go up the stairs, so I already know having to go up the stairs and then do a walk. Ooh, my body's about to be screaming at me, but it is okay because we only have to pick Rainbow up, and we'll just make sure to stretch and prepare ourselves for next week, or the next 2 weeks, because Monday through Friday we'll be taking her to school, and then Monday through Thursday we'll be picking her up. Next Friday, Rainbow's Allie mom and dad will pick her up and have her on the weekend, bring her home Sunday for me to have her during the week again. Yeah. My hair's so soft. Well, I did brush a shit ton to get it in. Because I kept wanting to do a high ponytail, but then I was like, ah. And then I finally went with a low, and I was like, well, of course, it looks best that way. But anyways, this has been a good little meeting. Every bit of content I make is beneficial to me, so huzzah for that. But until next time, which will be a hot minute, potentially, for one, it's the weekend, so it won't be over the weekend. And I mean, we might Monday, but I'll be utilizing the time where Rainbow is at school to get packing done, because I want to have the cave majority of the way packed. Like, I need to move stuff off of this one of my shelvings, so then because it's got to get taken apart to be able to put it back together, or we got to take it apart because it won't go up the stairs the way it is. And we'll put all my clothing on the other side. I've already thought of how I'm going to do my clothing, because I know I'm going to run out of boxes, but I have plenty of bags. So we have plenty of, and I did get unscented garbage bags, so huzzah to me for that. It's garbage bags that I got to put on me when we're doing fitness, because it helps us to sweat more. And that's how we'll utilize all of the bags that get used to cover my clothes, is in my new home, my new apartment. We'll use those bags exactly for that. So it's going to be very, very well done. But yeah, Rainbow's room is already packed, except for her clothing, because she needs her clothes. And that will all go into bags. And her blocks, they're in little, like, tub containers. I'm just going to put, what? A bag over that. Tie it. Boom. Easy peasy. My biggest worry is the U-Haul. I honestly will probably just get the biggest one I can afford, because I'm so worried about, because I have collected a few things that are larger. You know what I mean? We have 3 shelvings. These 2 shelvings, they're not that big, but this one's pretty tall. And I imagine we'll have to put it on its side, just like my entertainment center. So, like, we have that one piece in the U-Haul, which is about this wide-ish. So, and then stacked 3 high. That's going to be one little piece. You know what I mean? So, I just want to make sure, like, the mini fridge. I have a lot of things that I've actually accumulated. I don't have a fucking couch, but, like, we didn't have that dresser. We didn't have these 3 shelves. Did we have both of these clear white things? I feel like we bought another one when we got here, but I can't remember. Yeah. Make sure that the mini fridge gets like, I have to unplug it, you know what I mean, so it can be defrostified. So also making sure that we have nothing in the freezer that will go bad. It's cool. I've never had to do that. I've never had to, like, pack up a refrigerator, so I'm a little iffy on that. I'm not gonna lie. I know it will be easy peasy though, because I'll just put glass tape on the shelvings and, like, tape them to the wall of the refrigerator, and then obviously tape the doors shut, and it should be good to go. We have that little shelf over there because, you know, we needed a pantry, so I bought a fridge and a shelf for us to have, like, a pantry kitchen area. So, whew, yeah. Majority of the cave is packed, but there's still a lot to be packed, and I'm just like, but I still have 2 weeks, you know what I mean? Like, we literally get our keys in 13 days. So that means in 15 days we move. It does give me anxiety, though. The closer we get to it, I'm just like, oh my god. But anyways, I gotta go because we're gonna be leaving here in like 20 minutes. I do not want to be late. I'd rather be hella early and get to just stand there and stretch and listen to my podcast. So yeah. Until next time, and always, please be kind to yourself and everyone else. And I'll see you next time. Bye!